Hello and welcome to 3D modeling tutorials. In this video we're going to be going over how to use the hole feature, also known as hole wizard if you're using SolidWorks. So first of all, you want to make your part, whatever it is you're going to put your hole on. So I'll go ahead and do that real quick. And the first thing you want to do is basically make a marker for where you want your hole to go. So for example, if I want to put a hole on this face in this area in particular, we'll go ahead and give it dimensions so we can lock it in place. The diameter of the circle is not really going to matter in this case because it'll be defined by the hole specifications that we give to it after we do this. So I got my hole in there. It's dimensioned to the place that I want it. Alternatively, you can do this with like the circular pattern and the linear pattern like what we did in the previous video if you want to make more than one. So your hole feature is going to be under create, and then down here under hole thread is also another thing that we're going to be going over in this video. So go ahead and click on that, and then it'll ask you the face or point where you want to put it, and this is where your hole will come in handy. You can put it in an arbitrary spot, but it's not locked in anywhere. So what I would recommend is doing what I just did here with your hole marker, unless you're putting it, say, on an origin or on a corner or something like that. So I'll go ahead and click the center of circle here. So ask me the face to put it on, and then select that point, and then it puts it right there in the middle. So the default is a simple hole, and basically what that means is it's just a circle cutout extrusion with a tip at the end, and that is defined by your parameters here, your depth, your diameter, and your tip angle. So if we just go ahead and play around with these, you can see the depth. It'll make it go further. Oops, I didn't mean to accept that. It'll go further in or out, and you can also change this by my arrow. And if you notice, it's changing up here as well. Diameter. And the thing to know for this is that it's not defined by the diameter of the circle you already put in there. Although you can make it the same diameter, it doesn't really matter in this case because you're telling this circle by these dimensions rather than what you'd be using for just a circle. If I were to just cut that by itself, it's not the same thing. Is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, so the tip angle changes the tip angle. So I'm going to show you a little bit. I don't usually change this stuff, but these types of specifications are going to be in your like drawing or I mean in the drawing that you're modeling, or just depending on what you have. So I'll go through some of these other types of circles. The next one is a counterbore, and what this is doing is making an inner cutout of a circle inside the original hole. So you can usually use these for like bolts, where you need like a little lip for the bolt to have a seat inside the hole. Sometimes have those types of specifications. So these change a little bit. Your parameters change a little bit because you now have these counterbore depth and counterbore diameter, depending on what you need to set those to be for your situation. I'll go ahead and accept this so you can see what that looks like. So you have the seat in here and then this outer circle. Finally, you have the Countersink, which is similar to Counterbore, except the inner hole and the outer hole are basically merging together at an angle. So once again, you have your Countersink angle and your Countersink diameter. And then you can see it's at an angle rather than separated like our Counterbore. So that's how hole specifications work. After you make your hole, we can then put a thread in there. And now you can do molded or unmolded. Molded will put the thread inside. It'll put the thread, basically embed it into your part. And then if it's not molded, it'd just be like a regular thread, like that. And with this, you can set different specifications. They have, the isometric and the ANSI specifications. So depending on what the type of hole you're gonna use, you can use the different the thread types, and you can change the size. One thing to note about this is that if I change this, it's going to change my inner diameter of the hole. So if you notice, the countersink is changing depending on the size that I make my thread. So watch out for that when you modify the thread. So you have the design, how many threads per inch you're doing, class, and direction, left hand, right hand. And this is a nice feature, remember size. So if you're making several holes with thread, with the same thread specifications in it, you can do multi-select with multiple hole faces, or you can just do this remember size, and the next time you pull up the feature, it'll keep your same dimensions. Okay, that's all I have on holes and hole diameters and threads and all that. Thank you for watching.